Welcome to Hannity. And tonight, Democrats, their friends, and the state-run legacy media mob, they were wrong again. Another anti-Trump smear is now poof. It's up in smoke, despite their doom and gloom predictions about Donald Trump and the economy. Oh, sad news. Second quarter growth is now slated to smash all expectations. The Atlanta Fed predicting a whopping 6.6% growth in the second quarter. At the same time, job creation way up in the country, wages are up, inflation, oh, it's at the Fed's benchmark of 2.1. Well, they want 2.0, 0.1% off. In other words, President Donald Trump is keeping his word. The state-run legacy media mob, they look stupid, they look foolish. Once again, the punditry class, forget it. They're absolutely useless, which is not why nobody watches them anymore. We've got all the details coming up in a few minutes and polling numbers that you're going to want to see as well. Also tonight, left-leaning statistician Nate Silver out with new data backs up something we have known on this program for a long time. The Democratic Party is dominated by well, mentally unwell Americans. Hannity's calling Democrats mentally unwell. No, Nate Silver is. We'll tell you what he said. And just when you think the Democratic Party cannot get any more unhinged, think again. Coming up, we're going to bring you the latest edition of Timmy Wall's, Uncle Timmy's investigation into young male voters. This guy cannot be any more wrong on his analysis of what happened in November of last year. But first, this could be the biggest political scandal in American presidential history. As a matter of fact, I believe it's the biggest scandal in presidential history and White House history. Tonight, the Department of Justice has officially opened a major investigation into the Biden administration's prolific use of the autopen, especially during Biden's final days in office. Let me make a prediction here tonight. There are people that will be in a lot of trouble before this is all said and done. In fact, out of the scores of Biden's last-minute pardons, only one appeared to be physically signed by Joe Biden. Take a look.
When you look at these last-minute Biden pardons, the big ones, Biden siblings, Fauci, January 6th committee.
That's right.
Most of the big ones have the same very neat signature. We would expect that probably to be the autopen. There is one that looks different. It looks authentic. In fact, if you look at the last name, it almost looks like the president was having a hard time spelling his last name there. Is this White House of the opinion that the only pardon that would count is one that the president signed himself?
It's very interesting. Very interesting props. If you want to bring them to my office later so I can take a closer look, I would like to do that. The president is making a good point when he discusses the usage of the autopen. Who was running the country for the past 4 years? Perhaps those documents were signed with the autopen, something that this, I believe the Department of Justice is looking into. As you saw, Ed Martin made an announcement at the Department of Justice this morning to launch an investigation because the American people deserve answers.
All right, that certainly doesn't look good, does it? Now, as a reminder, multiple presidents, they have directed staff to use the autopen to sign official documents, but the key word here is directed. Past presidents directed their staff to use the autopen, typically when they were out of town. Now, does anyone on either side of the aisle or in the state-run legacy media mob actually believe Joe Biden was capable of directing his staff to do anything in those final days when they thought they'd run him for re-election and just bring out proof of life occasionally if he won again? It was the other way around. Take a look.
I'm sorry, I'm going to get in trouble with staff if I don't do this the right way. I'm going to get in trouble with my staff. Yeah, go ahead, but I pretend that you didn't answer you. Am I allowed to take any questions? Anybody here in staff? You know, I thought when I got to be president, I'd get to do things that I wanted to do, but my staff tells me what I can't do.
Oh, remember, they controlled every aspect of the president's life. The president of our country is the only person with the power to issue federal pardons, sign executive orders, and sign bills into law. He can do it with his hand, or he can order the use of the autopen, but it must come from the president, not a cabal of weird advisors who make decisions behind the scenes while Biden is napping every day, pretty much all day. So let's be clear. This is a very real, credible allegation from multiple sources, including the new book from the very low-rated Fake Jake Tapper at Fake News CNN. Based on all the evidence, our own observations, it was obvious, transparent, it was clear. We pointed it out first in 2019 that Biden was mentally incompetent and president in name only, while his senior advisors were running the country by committee. This is a massive security threat and was a security threat to our country. It raises serious questions about whether Biden even knew the autopen was being used. And if that is the case, none of his autopen signatures are valid. None of the pardons are legal. And his senior advisors, that would mean they broke the law, violated the Constitution in very serious ways. If true, this would be far worse than Watergate. So tonight, there are two key questions that must be answered. Was Biden mentally unable to perform the duties of the White House? The answer to me seems obvious. And two, did he fully know and understand what the auto pen was actually signing? Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.